This story will seize your heart, ignite your soul, and obliterate every excuse you've ever clung to. It's not merely about betrayal and redemption, it's a blazing summons to rise, strategize, and reclaim your life when the world tries to crush you. By the end, you'll be ready to confront any storm with unyielding resolve. This is the story of Ethan Caldwell, a man who transformed devastation into triumph. And it's brimming with lessons so potent they'll redefine how you face challenges. Prepare yourself, this journey will leave you inspired, empowered, and eager to rewrite your own narrative. Ethan Caldwell was 41, a chief warrant officer with the 101st Airborne Division, forged by 16 years of military service. He'd led his unit through Chaos-3 tours in Syria, 2 in Somalia, navigating fire and turmoil with steady hands and a clear mind. His life was anchored in discipline, loyalty, and a quiet faith in doing what was right. But in 2024, while stationed at a dusty base in eastern Syria, Ethan's world collapsed with a single email. It wasn't a bullet or an explosion that struck him. It was a digital wound, delivered with a subject line etched into his memory: "Time to move on." His wife of 14 years, Lauren, had filed for divorce, drained their joint accounts, and moved her new boyfriend, Marcus, into their home in Boise, Idaho. The email was cold, 4 sentences long. She was done waiting. She'd taken what was hers, and she hoped they could handle this like adults. Attached was a PDF: divorce papers, stamped and final. Ethan sat in his bunk, the hum of generators outside his tent the only sound. He read the email 3 times, each word a sharp edge. 14 years. They'd met at a Boise charity run in 2010. Ethan fresh off his first tour, Lauren a sharp paralegal with dreams of launching her own law firm. They married within a year, bought a modest ranch-style home in 2015 with a VA loan in Ethan's name, and built a life that seemed unbreakable. But cracks had formed, subtle at first, then stark. 6 months before his deployment, Lauren changed. She stopped texting during late nights at the law office, took weekend retreats with friends Ethan never met, and locked her phone with a new passcode. Her wardrobe shifted to designer bags and sleek dresses their budget couldn't justify. Ethan noticed, but he didn't pry. That wasn't his way, consigning his actions to certainty, a soldier's creed shaped by observation and assessment. Instead of confrontation, Ethan prepared. He rented a storage unit in Boise, securing his birth certificate, marriage license, military records, and the house deed. He opened a separate account at a credit union, funneling 20% of his pay into it, not enough to raise suspicion, but enough to build a safety net. He moved his father's dog tags and his grandmother's sapphire ring to the unit, relics of a family lost too soon. His parents had died, youngest father in a car accident, his mother to leukemia, and their modest inheritance had cleared Ethan and Lauren's debts. He wasn't paranoid, but his instincts, honed by years in combat, told him to be ready. And in Syria, staring at that email, he knew he'd been right. He typed one word in reply: "Understood." Then he closed his laptop, showered in the base's gritty stall, and reported for duty. His squad mate, Javier, caught the shadow in his eyes. "You okay, Caldwell?" he asked, cleaning his rifle. "Yeah," Ethan said. "Just stuff back home." Javier nodded. No further questions. Soldiers know when to let silence speak. That night, alone in his bunk, Ethan felt the weight not just of betrayal, but of clarity. Lauren hadn't just left him. She'd planned it, executed it, like a mission. And Ethan, a man who'd never lost a fight, wasn't about to start now. Here's the first lesson. When life ambushes you, don't react, respond. Emotions scream for you to lash out, to beg, to break. But power lies in pausing, in seeing the battlefield clearly. Ethan didn't cry or curse. He strategized. He was hurt, but he was awake. That awakening is what you need when your world fractures. Don't let pain blind you, let it sharpen you. Ethan's story proves that preparation and focus can turn a victim into a victor. Back in Boise, Lauren's betrayal ran deeper than Ethan first realized. She'd withdrawn $92,000 from their joint checking account, leaving $18.62. Their savings, $53,000, built over a decade of sacrifices, was gone, wired to an account Ethan didn't recognize. He discovered this 2 weeks later, sitting in the mess hall, a banking app notification lighting up his phone. He set his tray down, logged in, and stared at the numbers. His pulse stayed steady. His training kicked in. He called the bank from a secure line, learning Lauren had been siphoning funds for months, starting small, then escalating after he deployed. The final blow was a $45,000 transfer the day after her email. Ethan didn't panic. He opened his laptop and accessed their home security system, a network of cameras he'd installed during his last leave. Lauren didn't know he could log in remotely. The footage was a gut punch. Marcus, a wiry man with a goatee, lounging in Ethan's recliner, drinking from Ethan's favorite mug, walking their golden retriever, Bailey. Lauren was there, laughing in the kitchen. Ethan had retiled himself. It wasn't just a new man, it was a new life, built on Ethan's foundation. Something shifted in him, not rage, but a cold, precise focus. He made a list. Contact Ryan, a former squadmate turned attorney. Review the VA loan terms. Secure his military pension. Check the cameras daily. This wasn't personal anymore. It was tactical. Let's pause for lesson 2. Control what you can. Even when the ground shifts. Ethan couldn't stop Lauren's choices, but he could protect his assets, his future, his dignity. You might be facing your own betrayal, a job loss, a broken promise, a dream stolen. Don't waste energy on what's out of reach. Inventory your resources, secure your position, and move with purpose. Ethan's cameras weren't just tech, they were his eyes, his leverage. What's your leverage? Find it, use it, and don't apologize. Ethan emailed Ryan that night. Subject line, urgent legal advice. Ryan, now a lawyer in Seattle, replied within hours, offering a secure call. She's playing dirty, Ryan said after Ethan laid out the facts. We'll play smarter. Ryan dug into the financials and found something explosive. Lauren had refinanced their home, pulling $350,000 in equity. The VA loan was in Ethan's name only, requiring his signature for any refinance. But the signature on the documents wasn't his. It was close, same loops, same slant, but the E was too angular. Lauren had forged it, listing Marcus as a co-applicant. Ryan ran Marcus's name, 1 DUI, a fraud charge from 2020, and a string of unpaid debts. She's not just leaving you, Ryan said. She's trying to liquidate your life. Ethan leaned back, the Syrian desert stretching endless outside his window. What's my play? He asked. Ryan outlined options: freeze the refinance, file fraud charges, contest the divorce terms, but Ethan needed to decide his endgame. Did he want revenge or justice? I want what's mine, Ethan said, and I want her to face consequences. Ryan's voice carried a grin. Then we've got work to do. 3 months later, Ethan landed in Boise, unannounced. He didn't tell Lauren he was back. He checked into a motel under an alias, rented a nondescript sedan, and met Ryan at a coffee shop outside city limits. Ryan slid a folder across the table. Your homework paid off, he said. Inside were bank statements, the forged refinance application, and a new bombshell. Lauren had wired $160,000 of the refinance money to a real estate broker named Travis Holt. Ryan had run Holt's name. He specialized in fast, below-market home sales, often tied to Marcus's consulting business. The pattern was clear. Lauren and Marcus planned to sell the house, pocket the cash, and disappear before Ethan returned. This is lesson 3. Knowledge is your weapon. Ethan didn't storm his house or confront Lauren. He gathered intel, built a case, and let the truth become his ally. You don't need to be loud to be lethal. When you're wronged, don't scream, study. Learn the rules, find the evidence, and strike with precision. Ethan's folder wasn't just paper, it was power. What's in your folder? Dig for it. Ethan drove to the bank the next day, meeting a loan officer named Karen. He showed his military ID, his real signature, and the forged documents. Karen's face paled. "This is serious," she said. "We'll freeze the account and escalate to our fraud team." Ethan nodded. "I've already filed a police report." That night, his phone buzzed Lauren, texting, "Why is the bank asking about the house? What did you do?" He didn't reply. Silence was his first counterstrike. The next move was the county clerk's office. Ethan filed to contest the refinance, citing fraud, and placed a hold on any property changes without his consent. Lauren called, her voicemail frantic. "Ethan, we need to talk. The bank's saying there's a problem with the loan. Can we just settle this?" He saved the message but didn't respond. Ryan called that afternoon with more news. Marcus had been pulled over driving Ethan's truck, registered in Ethan's name. His license was suspended from the DUI, and the truck was impounded. Police found forged property deeds in the glove box, tied to Holt's real estate deals. Here's lesson 4. Let your enemies dig their own graves. Lauren and Marcus thought they were untouchable, but their sloppiness, forged signatures, stolen deeds, reckless driving gave Ethan the upper hand. When someone wrongs you, don't rush to fight. Watch, wait, and let their mistakes pile up. Your job is to stay clean, stay sharp, and stay ready. Ethan's silence wasn't weakness, it was a trap. The FBI entered the picture a week later. Ryan had tipped off their financial crimes unit, pointing to Marcus and Holt's history of targeting military families. Ethan met agents Rivera and Thompson in a Boise field office, laying out his evidence: bank records, camera footage, the forged refinance. Rivera leaned forward. "This isn't isolated. We've been tracking Holt for a year. Your case gives us the pattern we need." Ethan handed over his security app login, showing Marcus and Lauren discussing the sale with Holt in their living room. The audio was damning. "List it at $480,000, take $430,000 cash," Holt said. "The husband's overseas. He'll never know." Ethan's heart didn't race. He felt calm, like he was calling in coordinates for an airstrike. "What about Lauren?" he asked. Thompson hesitated. "We're still assessing her role. Did she ever mention selling the house?" Ethan thought back. "Last year, she said we were tied down, that we should sell and travel. I said no. The mortgage was fine on my salary." Rivera nodded, jotting notes. "We'll need a formal statement. And don't contact her yet. We're building something bigger." Lesson 5. Align with the right allies. Ethan didn't fight alone. He leveraged Ryan's expertise, the bank's resources, and the FBI's authority. You don't need to be a hero. You need a team. Who's in your corner? A mentor, a lawyer, a friend who sees what you can't. Find them, trust them, and move together. Ethan's allies turned his personal loss into a federal case, amplifying his impact. The trap closed 2 days later. Ethan and Ryan parked down the street from his house, watching as Lauren left for a meeting she'd texted Ethan about, thinking he'd show. Minutes later, Holt arrived, greeted by Marcus. Ethan pulled up the security feed on his phone. Holt was photographing the house, Marcus pointing out upgrades Ethan had made. "Cash buyers ready," Holt said. "We close next week." Ethan forwarded the live feed to Rivera. Within 40 minutes, FBI vans swarmed the property. Agents led Marcus and Holt out in cuffs, boxes of documents in tow. Lauren returned mid-arrest, collapsing on the lawn, sobbing. Ethan watched from the sedan, his face unreadable. Ryan glanced at him. "You okay?" Ethan exhaled. "I'm good." His phone rang Rivera. "We've got them on conspiracy, wire fraud, and identity theft. Your footage sealed it. Lauren's being questioned now." Ethan thanked her and hung up. For the first time in months, he felt light, not because he'd won, but because the truth was free. Lesson 6. Timing is everything. Ethan didn't rush his moves. He waited for the perfect moment, when his evidence was ironclad and his enemies were exposed. Patience isn't passive, it's power. In your own battles, don't swing too soon. Gather your strength, line up your shot, and strike when the target's clear. Ethan's victory wasn't loud, it was surgical. The legal fallout was swift. Marcus took a plea, sentenced to 9 years for fraud and conspiracy. Holt got 14. His operation linked to 13 other military families across 4 states. Lauren claimed she was manipulated, that Marcus convinced her Ethan was hiding assets. She admitted to the forgery but swore she didn't know about Holt's broader scheme. Ethan didn't buy it, but he didn't need to. She agreed to a settlement. Full restitution of the stolen $92,000 and $53,000. No claim to the house or his pension, and a signed confession. In exchange, Ethan didn't press charges. The divorce finalized 6 months after that email in Syria. A clean break. Here's lesson 7. Know when to walk away. Ethan could have pursued vengeance, dragged Lauren through court, but he chose closure. Justice doesn't always mean punishment. It means reclaiming your peace. What's your endgame? Is it revenge, or is it freedom? Choose the path that sets you free, not the one that keeps you tethered to pain. Ethan sold the Boise house a year later. The memories were too heavy, the walls too stained with betrayal. With the proceeds, he bought a 15-acre plot in northern Idaho, a cedar cabin nestled among pines, a river cutting through the land. He retired from the Army at 21 years, his pension secure. He adopted a husky named Ranger and started a woodworking business, crafting furniture for local families. His hands, once steady on a rifle, now shaped oak and walnut into heirlooms. The work wasn't just income, it was healing. One night, as snow fell outside his cabin, Ethan opened a letter from a stranger in Norfolk, Virginia. Her husband, a Marine, had been targeted by Holt's network. "Your case saved our home," she wrote. "You fought for us too." Ethan pinned the letter to his fridge, a quiet reminder that his pain had purpose. He hadn't set out to be a hero, but his stand had rippled, protecting families he'd never meet. Lesson 8. Your fight is bigger than you. Ethan's battle wasn't just about his marriage, it was about stopping a predator, about shielding others from the same fate. Your struggles have impact beyond your life. When you rise, you lift others. When you refuse to quit, you show the world what's possible. Who's watching you? Who's counting on your courage? Fight for them too. Today, Ethan's life is simple but full. He wakes at dawn, runs with Ranger along the river, and works in his shop until dusk. He's not rich, but he's free. He's not unbroken, but he's whole. Lauren's name rarely crosses his mind. Ryan heard she moved to Portland, working at a legal aid office, starting over. Ethan doesn't wish her ill, that just doesn't care. His focus is forward, on the life he's building, piece by piece, like the tables he carves. This story isn't just about Ethan, it's about you. It's about the moment you decide to stop being a casualty and start being a commander. Life will test you, betray you, try to bury you. But you are not your wounds. You are your response. Ethan turned a gutting betrayal into a triumph of strategy, patience, and purpose. He didn't just survive, he thrived. And so can you. Here's the final lesson, the one that ties it all together. You are enough. Right now, with your scars, your fears, your doubts, you have everything you need to face the storm. Ethan didn't win because he was perfect, won because he was prepared, because he trusted himself, because he refused to let someone else write his ending. You have that power too, so stand up. Look at the chaos in your life and see it for what it is. Not a defeat, but a battlefield. Map it, arm yourself, and fight like hell. Not out of anger, but out of love for yourself, for your future, for the people who'll be inspired by your victory. Take Ethan's story and make it your own. Let it be the spark that burns away your excuses, your hesitations, your what-ifs. You're not here to drift, you're here to dominate. Start today. Secure your assets, gather your allies, and move with purpose. The world is waiting for your comeback. Don't keep it waiting long.